Hello, this is going to be a short review on the Edmonds University shoe that's made exclusively for Joseph Abboud. Now, this shoe got me really excited, and I'm going to go into the reasons why. First of all, this shoe is one of those shoes that's much more obscure to most people. Very few people are even aware that this shoe exists unless you're really, really obsessed with Edmonds shoes, which I am. So there's a chance you might have heard of it, but I'm guessing most people have not heard of this specific model shoe. Now, for those familiar with the university, it was considered a wingtip that came out a couple of years ago, around 2014, I believe, and it was discontinued sometime around 2015. And it was a pretty popular shoe. I'm not sure why they discontinued it, but I'm just going to be talking mostly about this different model because there's some differences in this versus the regular university. And why am I doing this review? Well, even though this shoe's been discontinued, there are still plenty of these available if some of you want to get your hands on them, and it's not too late. And at the end of this video, I'll give out the links of where you can get this shoe. To begin with, this brown leather is not the ordinary brown leather that they use on the mainline shoes. In fact, I cannot confirm this 100%, but I am almost certain that they used the Independence leather for this shoe, and for whatever reason chose not to advertise it. If you go to the Joseph Abboud website, you'll notice that it says made of fine French leather, and for those that know about the Independence line sourcing for the leather, it does come from a French tannery. Now, this is not the only interesting thing that I noticed immediately when I opened the box. I noticed that the lining looked, felt, and smelled exactly like the Independence line shoes. Now I'm talking about the Independence line shoes that came out around 2013 and 2014, like the Rutledge or the Harrison, those or the Jefferson, which most people are probably familiar with. This shoe has that same lambskin lining that those shoes used. And again, they did not mention it in the description, and I'm not sure why that is. Another thing about this shoe, because it is made of a softer leather and has a softer lining, it fits me better than the walnut pair. I have a walnut pair of these in 8E, and this brown pair is in 8D, and the V-gap, where the lacing gap is nearly identical on both pairs. And that's because, well, it could be because of variation, but I think it's because the walnut leather in general, it takes longer to break in than the Independence leather, which is already very pliable, smooth, and basically requires no break-in. So anyway, these actually fit me better because when I went to 8E in these, it does feel a little bit wide in the ball. So for me, my normal size is 8D, and I would say these fit very true to size. The only thing I should mention is that if you're not aware of this already, is that these were built on the 333 last, which was well known as Edmonds' longest last, at least in recent years. And it's definitely a long last. Not everyone likes it. It's not a good fit for everyone. Even if it does fit you well, you're going to have excess toe room in front of the toes. So if you don't mind that, like I don't mind it, then it could be a great shoe for you. But a lot of people, it really bothers them when you have excess room in front of the toes. So just be aware of that if you weren't already aware. And this last has been discontinued, by the way, because I suspect because a lot of people did not like the length of it and felt it wasn't exactly true to size. I would say it's generally true to size, but it is a little bit more on the narrow side, I can tell. But if you have soft leather like this shoe, it's not gonna be a problem. It's when you have the thicker and harder leather that it becomes more of a problem. Now, wearing these indoors, it doesn't look like much, but when you take these outside, you're gonna notice how fantastic the color is. There's lots of hints of red, almost like giving this a dark chili type of look in the sun. And you can easily tell this is very high quality leather that they use for these shoes. Another thing that's very important to note is that, like the other university shoes, they do come with a day-night sole. Not everybody likes that. It's good for rain, But some people don't like the way it feels, because it is kind of harder on your toes, and it can be harder on your feet. It's less forgiving than some of the other softer rubber soles that they offer. I don't mind it, but it does take a little time to break in. The other thing I should mention about the insole is that it is something unique. It's like they took the Independence line, put it on top of a Pour-On insole, and that's what you get with this shoe. So it's not a regular Pour-On insole, and it's not the regular Indy line insole. It's something of a combination of both of those. But it's extremely comfortable. In fact, I would say this is the most comfortable shoe with a Day-Night that I've ever tried because of the insole. The only other negatives I can say, other than the length of this shoe, is that these specific ones for Joseph Abboud only came in D widths, at least to my knowledge. I have not found any evidence that they made these in E width. So if you're normally in E width, this might be a shoe that you might want to pass on because it might not fit you. However, I would say if you normally wear the University in E width, like in the walnut, I would give this D width a try, because it just might work because of the nature of the leather. If you want to find out where these are, go to Joseph Abboud's website. They still have some of these available. In fact, that's where most of them are. The other option is to contact one of the Allen Edmonds outlets, but you would have to find a salesperson that you're comfortable talking with. Ask them to search their inventory and see if they can find one of these, because I know they do have some of them, but I don't know how many. Bottom line here, guys, these are an outstanding value for their price. These are less expensive than the Independence collection, yet they appear to have the same leather, and they do have the same lambskin lining. Definitely consider these if you're looking for a great value. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you want to follow my website, I'm at profilabinding.wordpress.com, and my Instagram is profilabinding. Thank you for listening.